So what was your overall opinion of the game? I mean, I think that it was still a pretty good game when all is said and done. There were a lot of strengths to it.
My overall opinion of the game?
Yes.
Is it's fucking stupid. The guy is not Dante. Like, Virgil's just an asshole. Like, that's my biggest thing is on why should I give a fuck about this game?
I can agree with you in the sense that this probably shouldn't have been called Dante at all, as we pointed out before. It's not Dante, and pretending that it was is probably a mistake. I mean, the character, sure, I can kind of give that to you, but it was not that terrible of a game. And I mean, yeah, you might say the story writing is weak, but it's not like, you know, abysmal.
So I don't know, it's kind of like you said earlier, like, if the kid's name was Stan, and Dante, you know, maybe just showed up at the very end of the game, like, all the same shit kind of happened. Mm-hmm. He shows up at the end, and he's like, good job, kid. Thought I was gonna have to step in and do that myself, and, you know, like, goes to high-five him, and then he slaps him on the ass, and the camera zooms out, and it ends like an episode of Thundercats.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. It's like, I do think that it didn't need to be called Dante and Devil May Cry, but they went ahead and did it anyway, so we have to make the best
so they
of it.
can make money. So alright then, you're the one that's like, alright, the story's not that bad. What about all this, like, you know, like, pseudo-modern day political bullshit?
Okay, so I was actually thinking about this, and what I think is that it's a strength for them to include things that people care about. I mean, people have opinions about the issues presented in the game, as opposed to, we're killing robots, or we're imprisoning mutants, or other shit that I'm not prepared to care about, and they have to make me care about. No, you go into this, and people already care about this stuff, and it makes it stronger, in my opinion.
It's all just, like, a caricature, though. Like, I don't know. I don't think that complaining about things like Fox News and Bill O'Reilly make you edgy. I think it's like fucking not liking Bush 5 years ago. Everyone agrees with you, so it's just kind of like, I'm proud of myself. Aren't I insightful? No, you're an asshole. You know, it's like, all this stuff is bad, and it's like, counterculture and anarchy is good, except you're a fucking asshole. Like, Dante's a douchebag drug addict. Like, I mean, I don't know if he's addicted to drugs.
I was going to say, I don't think there's any evidence he does drugs.
Whatever, like, in the fucking, he's talking to Virgil in that one thing where, like, they're doing the demon computer thing, and he's just like, yeah, so I go up, you know, having sex, doing drugs, being cool.
Did he actually say he was doing drugs?
Probably.
Because the only reference
Probably!
When I was playing the game, the only time I heard drugs being mentioned was when you go into the nightclub and like, oh yeah, shoot up and get high, society, and I'm like, yeah, that is kind of...
Whatever, Dante goes to that club and fucks people there.
He fucks people or he fucks them up?
No, he fucked the one angel bitch that's like, hey Dante, why haven't you called me in a while? Like, we both had STDs together. He has STDs! Bob Barkus told me he did.
Bob Barbus.
Whatever, he's fair and balanced. You know, there's one thing you said, they took some risks, they made some chances, things like that. But, and this is something that we didn't really bring up because it feels like a lot of reviewers have already talked about it, but the whole, like, the wig thing and stuff like that, it's just stupid, and it has no place in the game.
No, I can't even defend that. That was just... the fuck you. That was basically just a giant middle finger to anyone. It was... I don't know what
you guys like this, but it's not the same. Also, you already paid for it. This is Devil May Cry. I'm supposed to be riding motorcycles down the side of towers and, like, making my pizza not, like, fall out of gravity.
I am kind of sad that there was only one pizza reference and it was used as a penis joke.
Everything in this game is an 8-hour penis joke.
And we didn't contribute to that one bit. One thing I do want to bring up is that all this time we've kind of been discussing the story. We touched on gameplay briefly, but I still think that it's really important for a game to have good gameplay, which this game does, no matter what the story is. I mean, if the story is great, but, like, you can't walk forward because, you know, like, the gameplay is terrible, I mean, then you're not going to be able to see the rest of the story if the game's bad.
I will grudgingly admit that the game can be a lot of fun sometimes.
One of my personal hobby horses is that a lot of games nowadays seem too easy. Like we mentioned with the bosses were way too easy, except for the one where you fight... Except for where you fight Lilith, that was the only boss encounter I had difficulty with. I do agree that a lot of times games are too easy, and that's a personal hobby horse of mine. And I thought that this game did difficulty pretty well in the sense that if you're really good at, you know, Seraphim mode, then you can play Son of Sparta mode. And if that's too easy for you, you can play Dante Must Die mode. And then you can play all the rest of, like, the super ridiculous difficulty modes. But I do say that the level immediately following that cutscene was pretty fun.
Well, with the car?
With the car. I like the car.
Yeah, the car was pretty cool, guys.
I like the car level. I really thought that was pretty interesting. There was almost no enemies, and the level itself was really short, but conceptually it was pretty cool. I mean, it's like, here, we don't need a level full of enemies.
That was the most fun I had platforming. Just because it was kind of something going on. It wasn't just derp jump, pull jump, derp, like...
Yeah, I mean... I'm actually curious. I want to go back and kind of just sit there and watch the car fly into something in slow motion to see if you can lose that way, because I'm not quite sure, because it gives you a whole lot of time to do that. But I do think that was a really interesting and kind of different level. The fight against the Master Control Program, I mean, Bob Barbas's face was also pretty cool. Even if it wasn't difficult, it was a cool fight.
Oh, it was... No, I really do like how they did that one, where, you know, you would go into, like, the segment, and they have, like, the helicopter shot, and you're running around and stuff.
Yeah, I mean...
And, you know, and then he's telling all the truthful things that Dante does, so...
No, but it's things like that, like some really strong, shining moments that I think do make this game good overall. It's like, you know, you can argue that at the end, like, the story was kind of wobbly and the characters didn't really hold up, but there were a lot of cool things that they tried and succeeded with.
If you're one of those people that likes gaming as an experience, it's probably a good experience because of some of the fun stuff they do, but don't expect me to get a boner for it.
We've had a lot of fun talking about the game today, but before we go, I just wanted to close off on a more serious note.
To all you demons out there, please, either wear a condom or just stop fucking angels altogether.
There's a high chance that your offspring won't be accepted, and in the process you'll probably piss someone off and just get yourself killed.
Or even worse, turn into a BDSM demon. Your kids will end up growing up as orphans, and they'll have fucked up values and whacked out priorities, and all because you wanted some angel nookie.
It's just not worth it.
So please, think before you act.
And let's all make the world a better place. Parents, stopping their kids from being complete asshats since the dawn of time.
This color is different than this one. This color is different from this one. This color is different. That's mean. That's gonna get me in trouble.